So this was my original prototype. It was just supposed to be a really basic prompt and answer, prompt of the software and answer by selecting which shape it asked you to touch. And it was really just on the terminal. It was really kind of simple just to get us going. And my idea was that it would be universal so that it could ask you what shape is this, or what's 5 plus 5, and you answered 10, or it could be, what sound is this, and it's like a C sound for music theory. So that's where I kind of got the universal from.
Yeah. My initial idea was to use this as a first prototype, and this was basically used to create an interface for a math game that would be controlled via interface with software. But after we sat down and talked about it, we came up with the idea of the cube.
So the cube takes my idea of learning, the whole the universal learning anyways, so you can change what level you're on, and you do your selections, which was in his too. And also in his was a part of his prototype design was going to be the feedback as well, which we are going to introduce to our cube design as some sort of floating ball that's eventually going to shoot out and be kind of exciting.
Now let's talk about materials. First off, let's talk about the cube. The cube will be made out of wood, and on 4 sides of the cube there will be sensors. Each sensor will be represented by a number, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is used for selection. And on one side, which will be the side where it is connected to the Arduino's technology, and then another side will be side for input, and then it'll be a speaker on the cube somewhere. We haven't actually figured out where yet, but it's going to be a speaker on there for audio feedback. And we'll have a fan or something to produce some type of wind current to push a ball through a tube, and that will represent progress along the way as a student is answering a question.
So in coming up with this design, we had to make some design decisions, and starting off with my simple interface and his big keyboard, we wanted to get away from the keyboard. We wanted to get away from any kind of traditional input or any kind of game controller or something like that. We wanted something really new. So we just, all of a sudden, we just came up with a box. So you just kind of turn around. And it's a really intuitive, it's an interface that is easy to learn, easy to understand, and it's different.
Yeah, a lot of times you see kids' first interaction with the world is with objects of different shapes, and a cube is one of the most common ones. So we look to capitalize on the shape of the cube to create a sense of engagement that is different from a regular keyboard or a regular gamepad. And the strength of it would be that kids will want to actually interact with this cube and would actually think that it's kind of neat and cool that they can flip the cube around and also pass it off to a friend and together work on problems or just simply have fun with it alone.
In the first original stages of creating it, it will have to be hooked up to a computer just to interface with the computer software until we get it going. Eventually we want it to run completely on its own. And at the beginning it will have a wire coming out of the box and going to the main Arduino board and feedback tower with the ping pong ball. Eventually we'd like to get rid of both of those so it's standalone, there's no wires, and that the cube interfaces with the board wirelessly using Bluetooth or something. So we have a couple more design decisions to make, but I think it's a good start.
The
you gotta make some bloopers.
You gotta do
it. You gotta do it. You gotta